everybody. In today's video, I am answering your questions in a Q&A. I haven't done one of these in like years. So I reached out on Twitter and Facebook and I've got a lot of questions and I'm just gonna jump right in. So the first question is from Steph Connor and she says, what are your favorite and least favorite parts of being a YouTuber? I think my favorite part of being a YouTuber is just being able to reach so many people around the world. I've made so many friends from YouTube, from people in Australia, Ireland, Canada, US, like all over Spain, everywhere, Italy. So it's like fantastic. There would be no way I'd be able to reach that many people without YouTube. So I think that's my favorite part of being a YouTuber. My least favorite part is those hate comments you get. I mean, I feel like they happen all the time and it's like, if you don't like my videos, just don't watch the videos. You know what I mean? You don't have to like take it out on me in the comments. I don't know. It's just funny. So I think that's probably my least favorite part of being a YouTuber. So the next question is Patricia Keel, who is a YouTube friend of mine, and she says, did you always want to have your own business? What did you want to be when you grew up? Let's see, did I always want to have my own business? I did actually always want to have my own business. From a very, very young age, my dad worked for himself. And so I just kind of had that ingrained in myself that I would eventually work for myself too. I went to college to be a middle school band director of all things. I did it for about a year and I don't know, it didn't fulfill what I thought it was completely different than what I thought it would be. I wasn't fulfilled by it. And so what I really enjoyed doing was doing like private music lessons or working one-on-one with people. And so eventually down the road, I got to the point where I was able to start my own business, and that's what I do now. I work at home. I am my own boss. I have my own hours. I wake up with the sun. It's amazing. I love working for myself, and I have pretty much 2.5 it's really two main jobs that I do. The first is what I mentioned before. I'm a music teacher. I teach private flute and clarinet lessons. I'm also a musician, so I play in area orchestras or freelance or whatever, playing the flute. Second part of that is I support people with essential oils. You know, I teach essential oil classes and I support a team of folks who are also teaching essential oil classes just to get the knowledge of healthy living out there into the world. And I use YouTube partially for that too, to share that message as well. So it's kind of like, that's my half. YouTube is my half, but it's really mainly essential oils, Young Living specifically, and teaching my music lessons. On that same line, I am doing more essential oil classes around Ohio in the month of April. I had a class down in Cincinnati. It was amazing. Made some really good friends down there. And I'm going to be going up north, a couple of classes in northern Ohio as well as central Ohio in April. So if you're interested, if you haven't used essential oils before and you're wanting to get them into your home to support your health or to get toxins out of your house, I'll be teaching all about how to do that in these classes in April. So if you're in those areas, northern Ohio or central Ohio, shoot me an email, anysimplelife@gmail.com, and I'll send the class information out to you. If you're not in those parts of Ohio and you still want to learn the information, I have a couple of online classes coming up in April as well. So I will leave the event information in the description bar below so you guys can find that. All right, so the next question is, what kind of detergent and dish soap do you use? So I actually use Young Living. I use the Young Living dish soap and the Young Living laundry detergent. They both work really, really, really well. They're from the Thieves line of essential oil that they use in the product. So love those. I order them pretty much every other month. I don't need them every single month, but I order them about every other month. They last a long time and they're awesome. So Mike Karsti asks, what's the most disgusting thing you've ever seen or experienced at Walt Disney World? So some of you guys probably know that I'm a big Disney World person and I have been to Disney, oh my goodness, I don't know how many times. I've lost count now. And we're going back in the fall. I'm very excited. So the most disgusting thing, I think, other than your typical child body fluids that you would see walking around a theme park on the ground, besides that, this was in 2013. 2015, I think. I was on the phone with my mom at the clown pool at Disney's Boardwalk, and I was just talking to her, filling her in on the day, and this huge rat, and it was not Mickey, this huge, like the biggest rat I've ever seen in my life, just went running by my feet, and it just came like pretty much from behind the clown, which is scary in itself, past me and into the bushes that are like on the side of that, and that just like totally freaked me out because I'm not a big rodent person. So that was pretty bad. And then that was 2013. In 2011, there was like an influx of palmetto bugs everywhere. If you guys don't know what palmettos are, they're like pretty large cockroaches, like maybe 2 to 3 inches long or so, and we stayed in a preferred room at Pop Century, and which is ground floor level, and somehow a palmetto bug kind of probably got into our room. Maybe the cleaning people had the door propped open or something. I don't know what happened, but we had a huge palmetto bug in our room that was like crawling around, and we thought we got rid of it, and then we saw another, and it was just like, ugh. So we had the Terminator group, whoever Disney uses, come in and spray and all that, and we eventually got the bug out of our room. But we were at the boardwalk just for an evening, and we saw a bunch of palmetto bugs on the boardwalk too. So I don't know if it was just like a weird time of year. I don't know. It was in September of 2011. Kind of traumatizing. All right, so Christina Grubbs asks, what's your favorite thing to do at Disney World? We're going in May. Awesome, Christina, you're gonna have a fantastic time. My favorite thing to do at Disney World, that's hard. I guess if it's a ride specifically, I have a favorite at each park. I can't pick like just one thing. That's very, very hard. Okay, I'm gonna do one ride and like one experience. So one ride at Disney that I absolutely love lately has been the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I've been really, really liking that ride. I didn't love it the first time I went on it because it made me a little woozy. I'm a kind of motion sensitive person, and the swaying of the coaster was very smooth. Like, don't get me wrong, but when we stopped, we would still be like swaying a little bit, and that made me like a little bit bleh. But after I rode it a few more times, like, I don't know, my body get used to it or something, and that is probably my favorite ride at this point. And then from like a non-ride experience, really it's actually sitting in the Grand Floridian lobby in the later afternoon, early evening to watch the band play or the piano player play. They kind of alternate back and forth. Being a musician, and my husband's a professional musician too, we just like watching live music, and I know the guys just really enjoy having like an appreciative audience, because we all know as musicians, and many of you guys are musicians too, if you're playing background music, you feel like you're just playing into the abyss of nothingness and you don't get any appreciation. So we're always the ones that like start the clapping and whatever for the people, and like it kind of startles the band because they're like, whoa, people are actually listening to us. So it just makes for a really nice evening, and you don't have to be staying on property, you don't have to be staying at the Grand Floridian to enjoy that. So highly recommend checking out the musicians in the Grand Floridian lobby. It's super fun. Okay, so Kelsey N. Wright 12 says, kids anytime soon. It's a good question. There's no immediate plans in the very, very, very near future for kids. It's, you know, something we have talked about, but no real decision has been made yet. If it's gonna happen, we probably want to do soon because we're not spring chickens anymore, although we're not the oldest people in the world. I guess we've got time, but I don't know. I guess that's my answer. I have no idea. Colors 1985 says, how long have you been married? Are you celiac or just gluten-free? Okay, so my husband and I have been married almost 11 years. Do we look that old? I don't know if we look that old. We were married very, very young. We'll just say that. And are you celiac or just gluten-free? My husband and I are both non-celiac, gluten sensitive, but we don't have the celiac gene. My husband does have an autoimmune condition, so because of that and because of our gluten sensitivity, we treat ourselves as if we are celiac. We do not eat gluten. We don't eat any gluten derivatives. There's nothing gluten in our house. And as of late, we've been eating paleo, my gosh, for almost a year now. My husband's eating autoimmune protocol, so we're not even eating grains at this point either. So not celiac, but very, very allergic / sensitive to gluten. Alrighty, so This is Amber, but I don't know how to say her name. Sumro Amber? I don't know how you say her name. What are your favorite outdoor activities? Walking, running, etc. I've never been a runner. I don't have the endurance for it. I don't know, just never been that way. But I am a big walker. I love walking. We take walks in the summertime, in the spring, as much as we possibly can. Normally it's right after dinner. We go out and take a walk around the neighborhood. I think, averaged at the end of the last fall about 2.5 miles a day walking. I don't live in a place where it's easy to hike necessarily. We have like state parks and community parks, and they have trees, but they're not real hilly or anything like that around here. So we do like to walk in the parks outside of the neighborhoods and stuff. But like when we go to Banff National Park or Sedona, which I love, we definitely like hiking when we're in places like that, but I'm definitely a big walker. Mamaology Inc. asks, what are your favorite movies of all time? Let's see. My ultimate number one favorite movie of all time is Can't Hardly Wait. I love Can't Hardly Wait. It was popular when I was in high school, and it was just, I don't know, really hit home. I love that movie, and I still love that movie. I just think it's fabulous. So if you haven't seen that movie, it was on Netflix. Might not be there anymore. As far as like, I guess, a Disney movie goes, Pirates of the Caribbean is right up there with that, except for the fourth movie. I did not like the fourth movie at all, but I liked 1, 2, and 3. I can watch them all the time, and I'm excited for 5 to come out, but 4 was just too dark, and I didn't like it. I was not a fan. Okay, Amy Burkhart says, what do you use to wash your clothes that is safe and actually works? I use the Thieves laundry detergent from Young Living. That's my favorite. It's so concentrated. You use half a capful, and the capful is like literally like a tablespoon. It's very, very little. So one bottle, it's teeny tiny, lasts about 2 months-ish for an average family. Love it. The Dark Queen, who I do know, says, if it's not too personal, how did you meet your husband? Not too personal at all. So Mr. Simple Life and I actually grew up in the same city, but we didn't meet actually until college. But what's funny is that we realized that we were both in the same babysitting class in middle school. Weird. And I dated his best friend at the beginning of my high school, or his best friend at the time. So that's kind of weird, like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon kind of stuff. I knew of his brother. His brother went to my high school, but my husband was homeschooled, so I didn't actually cross paths with him. I knew of his brother, my brother-in-law now, from just like seeing him on stage at musicals and talent shows and that kind of stuff. But we didn't actually meet until college. My husband and I did. So we were introduced. We had or have a mutual friend, and my husband was a music minor at the college that I went to, where I was a music major, and so we met each other in the lobby of the music building. It's not a very romantic story, but it's odd that we just kept like crossing paths but didn't actually meet until college, and we probably wouldn't have gotten married if we had met earlier than college. He most likely would have been a band kid. We would have been in the same circles, and it probably just would not have worked out. So crazy. Isn't that weird how like life is weird? Our Farmhouse Life asks, what's one of the top things on your bucket list for this year? So this summer, I am actually going to be visiting a lavender farm that Young Living owns. So I'm going to be like out amongst the lavender flowers. I'm such a hippie and so excited about it. I get to see the actual distillation process of their lavender at the Mona, Utah farm. So I'm so excited about that. So I'm going out to do that this summer. And that's one thing that I've wanted to do for a really long time, and I get to do it. And I'm super duper excited about that. Something else that we're doing is we're going, of course, back to Disney, and we're staying in a new to us hotel. So that's something else that's a bucket list thing that we wanted to try, and we're going to do that this fall. So let's see. Moose11781 says, what are your like 5 favorite or most used essential oils? Oh, it's so hard. My 5 favorite or most used essential oils. Okay, I'm gonna try. Thieves. These are most used. which end up probably being my favorite too. Thieves, lavender, peppermint, digize, that was 4, and frankincense. I think those are my top 5 most used essential oils. I probably use at least 2 or 3 of those every single day. And then she had a second question. What are some of your favorite recipes now since you changed your diet? My favorite recipe at this point is making a cassava flour tortilla. And to do it, it's super easy. So you take 3/4 of a cup of cassava flour. You take a dash of salt, 2 tablespoons of water, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and you mix that all together. And I tend to add a little bit more water to that. I probably add about, I don't know, maybe another tablespoon or so. Just depends on how dry the mix feels. It needs to feel like a real good glutinous, that's gluten-free dough. And then you divide that into 6 little balls and you press them, and you just kind of like fry them, not fry them, but like you saute them in just a little bit of oil in a nonstick pan until they're golden brown and bubbly on each side. Amazing tortillas, so good, especially when you haven't had any grains at all for a year. Just love it, love it, love it, love it. So cassava flour, Otto's cassava flour. Mwah. I'm so glad that you have an existence here. So I have 2 questions from Facebook that I'm going to go ahead and jump over there and get to. Jessica Rowe, and she says, what is your favorite brand of sardines? My favorite brand of sardines is Wild Planet, and the favorite flavor of those is just the sardines that are packed in water. They have a lot of them. They have 4, I think. They have the water ones, olive oil packed. They have tomato sauce packed, and olive oil and lemon. I think those are the 4 big ones. I like the olive oil ones because they're smoked sardines, so they have a little bit of a different flavor. But I like to control how much olive oil I'm eating at one time. So if I want olive oil, I'll just add it, which is like, why I like the sardines in water. But Wild Planet is my favorite brand. You can get them from Whole Foods. Thrive Market has them. Fresh Time, I've seen them there. Amazon, all those places. And then Michelle, Letourneau, I don't know if I'm saying that right, asks, what's your favorite Disney character? Well, it's such a hard question. I don't normally go see characters, but if I had to pick one to watch from a distance, it would be Gaston. I think he's just the best face character that Disney World has. I don't know. There's just something about him. He's so in the character. It's just, I really, really like that. As far as a non-face character, I mean, you've got to go with Mickey Mouse. I mean, Mickey Mouse is like the king, right? The be-all end-all of Disney characters. So Mickey and Gaston, my 2 favorites. All right, guys, well, that is it. So like I said before, if you're in Northern Ohio or Central Ohio and you want to learn about essential oils and how to incorporate them into your routines and get the toxic junk out of your house, shoot me an email, anniesimplelife@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to send you the class information. I would love to meet you if you are in those areas. And if you're not in those 2 parts of Ohio, I will be doing more traveling around the U.S. throughout this summer. That's going to be a big part of my summer. So might be coming to a place near you. But if you want to learn about essential oils from the comfort of your own home, I have a couple of classes coming up online, and they will be linked in the description bar below. If you haven't already and you'd like to, hit that button down below, subscribe, so you never miss a Daily Dreamland video. Kiss someone you love today, and I will see you all tomorrow. Ciao!